Hi second graders, this is Ms. Bielova. I'm going to teach you today lesson 3 of chapter 17. This is the last lesson of this chapter and the name is Real World Problems. Today we will learn how to solve real world problems using picture graphs. That's correct. So we're going to earn 1 star for this lesson. So I hope you're ready to put the star in your pocket. Okay, let's see if we can first make a connection. As you know, I love to make a connection to Bible first. So why don't we connect what we're going to learn in math to Bible? Because we already know how to solve problems in our life. How do we do that? Well, sometimes we first complain, right? And even cry about it, which is okay. I mean, it's okay to cry when we have a problem. It works, it helps, it makes us feel better. But the best way for us to solve any problem we have in our life is to put it into God's hands and ask for His help. He will guide us and He will help us to get through the problems and through the difficult time, and He will help us to solve the problem. And today we will learn how to solve math problems using picture graphs. And we will not only put it into God's hands and ask Him to guide us, but also I will help God by teaching you to learn how to do this. Are you ready? Well, let's first review what we already know. There are some that we already know, and we just need to review them. So, as you know, solving word problems in math, we need skills like addition, subtractions. We need to sometimes even multiply, which we will be using in picture graphs. So let's just review, when do we do that? When do we add and when do we subtract? Now let's begin with this skill, finding the difference by comparing groups. Let's say I'm comparing these smiling faces with these M&Ms. Okay, well, what would you do? What would you use? What operation? Would you use addition? Would you use subtraction to do this? If you said that you would use subtraction, then you are right. That is correct. In order to find the difference, comparing two things, two objects or various objects, we could compare boys and girls, oranges with apples. We do that by using subtraction. Now, to subtract, we can either count up from one number to the other, or we can also count down. Let me show you how I'll just review quickly how we count up. Let's say I have here two groups of balls. As you can see, I have one that has 6 and another one that has 10. Now, if I need to find the difference between these two groups, as we said, we will be doing subtraction. Now, what does that mean? Okay, how do we do that? I could either count on, okay, so I'm going to count from 6 to 10. Okay, so I put the number 6 in my head and I'm going to count on to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have 4 fingers. That means the answer is 4 because 10 minus 6 is 4. So you can do this subtraction by counting on, okay? Now you might want to use count back. I don't know what works better for you. So if you're counting back, you start first at the larger number and then you count back. Let's say in this case we have 5 minus 2. So I would have to put the number 5 in my head, okay? It's like the other way around. And now I'm going to go back by 2. So 5 is in my head, 4, 3. And that's the answer, number 3. So whichever way you use, and that's how you would get to the when you do subtraction. Now, if you know in subtraction, we will often see a question like this. How many more maybe apples do you have than oranges? How many more girls than boys? So if you see this question in any of the word problems you will be reading in this lesson, just keep in mind that we will be subtracting because it's finding the difference. It's comparing, okay? So remember this sentence for your lesson. And we need to review one more skill, and that is that we already know how to find a total, how to find the sum, or how to answer the question, how many we have in all? Well, I know that you're probably already saying that you will be using addition. You'll be using addition to do this. To find total, to find how many we have in all, we are adding. Now, how do we add? I know that's normally easier skill than subtraction. So adding, we again take the number, the big number this time in our head, and we just add the number that they give us. So if they say 4 plus 2, so we put the number 4 in our heads, and we go 5, 6. Okay, so that's counting on. That's what we do in addition. Okay, that's the only way to do this. Great. Okay, so for example, here we have an addition problem. Okay, so addition means adding objects together to get more. Just keep that in your mind when you read these problems. You're adding 2 plus 4 is 6. And we can also find missing numbers. For example, if you look at here, I have Sam who he needs help. He has 8 lollipops and he needs to make a bag of 10. Well, how many more do I need? Do you see the question, how many more? How many more do I need? Okay, I'm not saying how many more than, I'm saying how many more, just how many more? How many more do I need? Okay, to get to 10. Okay, to help Sam, we need to do addition. Okay, so let's see, he has only 8 lollipops. Okay, to get to 10, we'll be counting on 8, 9, 10. Okay, so remember for addition, we will also be using sometimes having to find a missing number. Very good. So let's review what we just did. That if we have to add, we are looking for total, we are looking for altogether, and we are also looking for how many we have in all. Okay. Now for subtraction, what we answer is how many more than. Okay, and we can also find the difference. Okay, and we also compare. So now look at these two symbols and remember this for this lesson. This is when we subtract and this is when we add. I think we are ready to solve the real world problems using picture graphs. What do you think? Let's get into it. Okay, here we have a first picture graph showing the number of stems 5 children have. So we have Andy, John, Kristen, Leon, and Susan. And the key, which is the most important thing to look at, says that each one of these symbols stands for 3 stems. So you know that if you're working with the picture graph, the game is that you will be multiplying, right? So to get the total of how many stems Andy has, or how many stems John or Kristen have, we have to multiply. Very good. We have to multiply, and we will be in this case using the table of 3 to do that. Let's look at Andy. Andy has the most stems. I agree. Now there are 8 of these symbols for Andy. Now if there's 8 of these symbols, I need to use the 3 key to multiply by 8. So 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, and that will give me the total for Andy. Now I can say that Andy has 24 stems in all. Let's look at Susan. Susan has 6 of these symbols. We know that each stands for 3, so I will do 3 multiplied by 6 equals 18. Very good. Now let's look at this. Here they're playing little tricks on us, and they're telling us that Susan has 6 stems from Brazil, and the rest are from the United States. So I know it sounds a little different, and it's a different scenario, but let's think about it, how we could find out how many stems does she have from the United States. Because we know that she has 18. All of the stems are 18, right? 6 of those stems are from Brazil. So we would have to subtract because we need to find the difference, right? We need to find how many stems, okay, are the ones that are from the United States. And so we will do 18 minus 6 equals 12. She has 12 stems from the United States. Now let me help you to picture that, okay, so you can also visualize how it actually works, okay? So these are the 18 stems that Susan has, right? Because 6 multiplied by 3 is 18. So here I have 18 stems, okay? Now they told us that she has 6 stems from Brazil. Okay, 6 of these are from Brazil. Okay, now they want us to find out, this is the question that we need to solve. How many are from the United States? These are the ones from the United States. In order for me to find the answer, okay, I needed to take the total, okay, the 18 minus the number we already know that she had 6, and then I will find out the answer. Okay, So these leftover ones are the actual answer, and that's why it is 3, 6, 9, and 12. Okay, so I hope that helps you to visualize it, how it actually happened, that we got to number 12. Very good. Let's look at another problem. Here we have another picture graph. This time, this one is talking about the number of children playing 5 kinds of games. That sounds like fun. Okay, it's playing soccer, softball, basketball, baseball, and tennis. Okay, now the key again here is 3. Okay, right? So now we need to use the graph to find the missing numbers. Now, how many children are playing basketball? Let's look at the right here. Careful, make sure you look at the right category in the picture graph, okay? So you have to read the label closely, basketball. Now, I know that there is 6 of stars and each stands for 3. So there are how many stars? 6. Okay, now to get to the answer, I can either do 3 multiplied by 6 or 6 multiplied by 3. Let's do 3 multiplied by 6. And I know the answer is 18. So I can say that 18 children are playing basketball. Now they're asking us how many children are playing softball or baseball. So we have softball, they want us to, and baseball. Okay, so we have 2 games, and they want us to find out how many children are playing these 2 games. So we're going to first count the stars, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 stars for softball or baseball. Okay, these 2 games. Now I need to again use the scale of multiplication and use the key 3 multiplied by the 7 because they're asking us for both of these games. And the answer is 21. So 3 times 7 or 3 multiplied by 7 is 21. 21 children are playing softball or baseball. Okay, now let's see if we can solve this third problem. A little bit trickier, but we can do it. 6 of the children playing soccer are boys. Okay, let's look at soccer. There are 3 stars for soccer. How many girls are playing soccer? You see, they're asking us for boys and girls, okay? This is a comparison question because we already know how many boys are playing. There's 6 boys playing, but now we don't know how many girls. Now, but guess what? The first you have to do, remember the first thing that before you do this, you need to ask yourself, do you know how many you have in all? We don't know how many we have in all. So let's answer that first. First, we're going to answer that by putting the 3 multiplied by 3 because we have 3 stars and the key is 3. So our answer is 9. Now, this tells us how many we have in all. That's why I emphasize first to ask the question, do I know how many I have in all? If you say no, then please, first you need to solve that. And now I can go ahead and take the number 9 and take away from it the 6 boys that they told us that they are playing soccer. Now 9 minus 6 is 3. So there are 3 girls playing soccer. So this is how we solve this picture graph. Let's look at one more picture graph, a last one for today's lesson. This one is about bottles of drinks sold. Apple juice, grape juice, milk, water, and orange juice. Our key is 4. All right, how many bottles of grape juice were sold? Let's look at grape juice. We have 4, but we know each stands for 4 bottles. So 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So how many bottles of grape juice were sold? 16. Which was the most popular drink? Let's look at it. I can tell it's this one. It's the orange juice, 2, 4, 6. So we're going to just write it. It's the orange juice. Now, here we have a tricky question. 11 girls bought orange juice. How many boys bought orange juice? So we know how many girls bought it, but we don't know how many boys bought it. Now, guess what? What do we have to do here first? First, we have to ask the question. That's correct. Do you know how many you have in all? We don't know how many we have in all. Let's find out. Let's look at the orange juice. So we're going to have to multiply here again. 6 multiplied by 4 equals 24. So now we know the total. We know that how many orange juices we have here that were sold. Well, now we know that 11 girls bought it. Now let's look at the pictures that's going to help you to solve the problem. 11 girls, we'll circle the 11 girls that bought the orange juice. Now the rest are the boys. So that is why we're going to do 24 right, minus the 11, and that the answer will be 13. Okay, so to find out the rest, what's left over, we have to subtract. The same strategy we will apply in exercise number 4. We have here 16 girls bought grape juice. How many boys bought grape juice? Well, second graders, I was about to gonna give you the answer and help you with this, but I have a better idea. Why don't you answer this exercise number 4 and 5 in the comment section below? Thank you guys. I know you can do this, and I will help you with the last one. Don't worry. Okay, they want us to ask questions about the graph. I can think of one. Why don't we ask how much more orange juice was sold than apple juice? Okay, now when you see this question, you know that you will be subtracting. That's correct. But in order for me to subtract, the first thing that I have to ask, again, is that I need to ask the question, right? Do you know how many you have in all? Very good. So let's see how many we have of orange juice. We have here 2, 4, 6. We said it was 24, right? And how many we had of apple juice? We have 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. So I needed to find out the total first, how many we have in all, in order to be able to compare, right? Because I can't be comparing without numbers, right? That's why I need to ask the question first. How many do I have in all? Very good. So now we know that 24 and 8 are the numbers I will be working with. So let's put the big number first, right? The number that's greater, 24 minus 8. Okay, now that will give me the answer, and the answer is 16. Very good. Now we could also ask one more question. For example, we could ask, which was the least popular drink? The least popular drink, looking at the graph, was apple juice, right? So we would just write the answer apple juice. Well, second grader, these are the questions you can ask. I'm sure you have in your mind many other questions that you could ask about this picture graph. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to complete pages 191 and 192 from your Math 2B workbook. And you have to upload these pages to Portfolio for Sammy. Second graders, thank you for your attention. Hope you learn a lot, and I will see you in your next chapter. God bless you, second graders.